welcome to the Spotlight Show. I'm your host. My name is Jabez Napoleon Ogbali. Like every week, I'm always excited, to be on the screen and sharing vital information with you. So wherever you may be, because we have viewers from across the globe, I want to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome once again to the Spotlight Show. So how are you doing today, guys? I hope you're doing very well. Wherever you may be, if you're watching me live right now on the GPKM app, on our YouTube channel, GPKM TV, or even Facebook at GPKM FM, or even our website, www.gbkm.fm, I want to say welcome to the show. And please remember, like, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much. And it's been an amazing month. Happy Women's Day. Last few days we had to celebrate women across the globe, and of course we all know that every one of us, have a woman in our life, be it our spouse, be it our mother. So thank you so much, guys. And quickly, let's appreciate you who has always been there, supporting us, watching this program, sharing it on WhatsApp, on YouTube, Facebook, everyone will say thank you. And to our corporate sponsors as well, African Young Entrepreneurs from based in Johannesburg, South Africa. Check them out, www.ayeonline.org. And of course, they are wonderful, the trust fund platform for instant loans. And of course, Imani's Place, wonderful organization based here in Canada, www.imanisplace.org. And of course, Pan-African Arts, Culture and Trade Institute, Pakati, that powers this show on a weekly basis. And Daniela Corporation, wonderful startup based in Alberta. Check them out, www.pakati.org and www.daniela.com. And of course, Top Rock Consulting. I want to do a quick shout out to Top Rock Consulting, who always power this program on a monthly basis. I want to say thank you for that. Top Rock Consulting are leaders in IT training and certification. So please go to their website, www.toprock.ca. It doesn't matter where you are. They have classes and trainings and, of course, a mentorship in any part of the world. They will be able to, hook you up. So thank you so much, guys. Today's going to be very interesting, guys. Since last year, COVID-19 has changed the way we live, and today's topic is what the impact of COVID-19 and of course the vaccines. Let's take a look at the COVID-19, how it all started. Where are we in terms of the treatment? Where are we going? So guys, very important, because that's what the Spotlight Show is about. We do the heavy lifting, go in there to dig the facts, provide you this part so that we can make informed decisions. And this show is for everyone, wherever you may be. If you're an African in the diaspora, wherever you be in the continent, in the Caribbean, the Middle East, in Europe, North America, of course, we are here to cater to everyone. So yes, we're going to go straight to today's topic. I'm going to share some slides with you, but we're going to take it one step at a time. So, it's been a long and eventful year. COVID-19, a lot of people may have forgotten, but this all started back in December of 2019. That is 2019 to 2020. Now we're going to 2021, over a year now. And there's been so many challenges. I want to look at some of those impacts and look at some of those timelines as well. So we're going to share you some visuals, and I'm going to be taking it one at a time. But it's been very interesting since December 2019 to date. And do not forget the origin of the COVID-19. How did it all begin? We know that when the turn of the new year, back in December 2019, as we got into 2020, the events began to unravel in Wuhan, in China. The first coronavirus cluster was reported back in December 31st. People forget, it was December 31st, 2019, with initial exposure linked to the Hunan seafood market back in China. People seem to forget. In the new year, the first coronavirus case began featuring outside of China for the first time. So back in January 2020, from China to Thailand to the United States of America, as a result, World Health Organization had to declare a public health emergency. Okay, guys, so people keep forgetting. But why don't we delve into the timeline of COVID? Let's see where it started from and where we are today. Let me show you that infographic. Yes, so take a look at that graphics. I'm going to quickly explain it. It has a timeline, very wonderful infographics, and special thanks to Visual Capitalist. Check them out, www.visualcapitalist.com. That's where we got these infographics from. And if you see, let's take a look at the visual, and all the dates in this graphic are based on when events occurred rather than when they were widely reported. So when the event actually occurred. So you can see in January, first of all, it was December 31st, 2019. It was reported in Wuhan, then it went into January, and if we go into February, a lot of things began to heat up because It was finally named COVID-19 in February of 2020. Let's leave that graphics there and let everyone see. And in addition, the Diamond Princess cruise. A lot of people forget about the Diamond Princess cruise, where we had 624 confirmed cases. It was quite interesting because a whole lot of countries rejected the vessel. And you know that these cruise ships are, they cost billions of dollars. But that was in February 2019. The month also marked a significant turning point. Why? Because Dr. Li Wenliang, a Chinese doctor, had tried to draw global attention to the severity of China's outbreak before he passed away due to COVID-19 in February 2019. May he so rest in peace. It was quite an informative beginning then, and what he did was very laudable, and we're very grateful for that. And then we go into March 2020. World Health Organization made a critical decision, and as the virus began to transcend various borders and claim thousands of lives, and it was announced that COVID-19 outbreak had officially become a deadly global pandemic. And as a result, a lot of events were cancelled, from NBA to even hockey, and of course UEFA Men's Soccer Championship of football was cancelled. Then we go into April. Look at the image. You see, when you go into April, the price of oil flipped to negative. Then a lot of people were concerned because over 10 million Americans lost their jobs, and the impact was so huge at that point in time. And as a result, the U.S. government unveiled a $2 trillion CARES Act to help, economic stimulus. Not only that, two world leaders back in April 2020, a lot of people forgot, but two world leaders actually had COVID-19, which was Boris Johnson of UK and, of course, Russia's President Mikhail Mushkin. And obviously, we'll go down the lane into June and November. The surge just kept increasing. Former U.S. President Donald Trump and Brazil's President Jair Bolsonaro and Poland's President Andrzej Duda were among many world leaders that actually contracted the COVID back then. And of course, December of 2020, what happened? We became very optimistic because the COVID vaccine actually began to surface then. So this has been quite interesting and timeline of COVID-19, which I had to share with you so that we can go back to the genesis of the matter, how it all began, and how we got to where we are today. Okay, guys. Well, that's what has happened. But even as billions of people began to be able to accept the news of vaccine, what happened? We now got to know that there were variants. Variants began to occur. So let's go away from this image, and I'm going to tell you about some of these variants, some of the variants that came up as a result of COVID-19. Now that we actually look at the timeline, how it all started from Wuhan, and how they spread across the world, and how, a lot of countries started to close their borders, and there was no movement, there was restriction. Even in Canada today, there's still restriction. A whole lot of flights to the Caribbean, to south of Canada have all been banned. And now we're all on lockdown right now, and it's quite amazing. Let's talk about the variants. A lot of people don't know much about the variants. And let's talk about the COVID-19 variants. So like I said before, the three major COVID-19 variants have emerged across the globe, honestly, and research suggests that this variant may be cause for concern. It is cause for concern. Are these variants, how strong are they? Are they resistant to the new vaccines? We don't know, but we're going to find out today. But what made them different from the original COVID-19 that was, that came about from Wuhan back in December 2019? And I'll tell you, but what is a variant, first of all? We like to give context here. What is a variant? So it's important to understand why virus mutate in the first place, okay? To infect someone, a virus takes over a host cell and uses it to replicate itself. That's why they replicate, so they multiply. So once they take hold of a cell, they begin to multiply and attack the body. But nature isn't perfect. Sometimes mistakes are made, even as the virus tries to mutate, take over your immune system. Sometimes they are mistakes because that's the wonderful thing about nature. So those mistakes are called mutations. Those are called mutations. You've heard of the word mutation before. People have birth defect and all that. Same thing with virus. Virus have defect and then they mutate and various strains come about. So a virus with one or more mutation is referred to as a variant. So if there's a virus and you have one or more mutation, it becomes a variant. So most of the time, variants do not affect a virus' physical structure. So the virus itself, it doesn't affect its physical structure. And in those instances, they eventually disappear. However, there are certain cases when a mutation impacts part of a virus' genetic makeup and does change its behavior. So if the virus was attacking maybe your white blood cells, for instance, and it mutates, sometimes the physical structure may not change, but sometimes it does alter the behavior of that particular virus. Hence, it becomes, a concern, for being able to discover the cure and etc. However, according to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control, a change in behavior can alter three things: the rate of transmission, okay, as that increases or decreases; the deadliness or the effect, it could be lethal, and that way, it kills people instantly; or the ability to potentially infect someone. So maybe it was being transmitted based on touch. Due to mutation, it can be transmitted, becomes airborne and etc. So these are very, very serious concerns. So what are the variants of COVID-19? So the research has detected that some of these changes in the three major COVID-19 variants are B1.1.7, the second one is B1.1.351, and P.1. So let's show the next image. Let's take a look at this variant, so that we can see the impact. Yeah. So you can see these variants actually got discovered. The first one, B.1.1.7, was discovered in UK. Back in fall of 2020. By December 2020, it had spread across the globe, with cases emerging across Europe, North America, and Asia. Currently, this variant has been reported in over 94 countries. So even though the variant was detected in UK, it's because some of the borders got open in summer and people were traveling, and now it's all over the world. But research suggests that 50% more transmissible than other variants. Wow. And potentially 35% more deadly than the standard COVID-19 virus. This is interesting. So it spreads 50% more, it's more deadly, and current vaccines will work well against this new variant. So that's the good news, that the vaccines that they're developing right now will actually work against this variant. We'll keep that image there. Let me go to the next one. So the next variant of COVID-19 is actually called the B.1.351. Very interesting name. So this was back in October 2020. The second major variant was discovered. It was identified in South Africa, and it has spread to the UK, Switzerland, Australia, and Japan. It was spreading so quick. That's the thing about virus, because once it takes on the human host, based on touch, based on sneezing, whatever you do, the spread just continues to increase. So this second variant of COVID-19 that was discovered in South Africa is now in approximately 48 countries of the world. So that's huge, guys, and I'm sure it's more than that now. This was at the time of this report, which was a couple of months back. And several of the existing COVID-19 vaccines may not be as effective against this variant. I don't know why, but something for you to check out. So we talk about the variant B.1.1.7 discovered in UK. We talk about the second one, B.1.351, discovered in South Africa. Let's talk about the last one, which is, we're going to leave that image. The last one is actually called, as you can see on the image, P.1. The variant was last to arrive on the scene. It was discovered in January 2021. So just like 2 months back, we're in March right now. So 2 months back, the new variant came up. How many more variants are going to come out from this COVID? We don't know. But this is the third one that we've discovered. It was found in travelers who had arrived from Brazil. Interesting. So approximately 25 countries have reported cases of this P.1 variant. And only research suggests this variant is not only more contagious, but could also have the ability to infect people with natural immunity who had already recovered from the original strain. So those who had the COVID-19 original strain that was discovered, renamed COVID-19 back in February 2020, and they become immune. This new variant can attack their body again. This is just, it's too much to swallow, guys. So let's do our research, because a lot of people debunk that this virus does not exist, guys. The virus is real. We have friends, we know people that have actually, been infected. The symptoms are there, and some of them have passed away. So a lot of them have recovered, and we're very grateful for that. I have to share this so that you can understand the impact of what COVID-19 is and how it's spreading, how it's mutating. So this is not just something that a lot of people can just, just wash away and say, no, it's of no importance. It is very important, guys. And we're going to go next. We're going to go on a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to talk about some of the vaccines and treatment, guys. What are the vaccines out there? Are these vaccines effective? There's so many theories out there on social media, people debunking vaccines and whatnot. Guys, we're going to go into that, but let's go on a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to go into, some of those vaccines, where they are right now, some of those treatments available, and what are the next steps in each of these countries, and what the government have been doing. So guys, sit back, relax, and we'll be right back.
My name is Carol, and I'm currently a project coordinator. I took the project management course. I learned a number of things, one of which was interview skills. I learned about the Agile framework and how that's very different from the waterfall model of project management.
At Top Run Consulting, the key unique area that we try to focus on is not to just impart certification knowledge, but the application of real-world tools.
Back in June 2017, I did the business analysis course at Top Run. I learned the basic and advanced skills and tools to be successful in business analysis field.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You're still on the Spotlight Show. I'm your host, JP's Napoleon Ogbole. And if you just joining us, thank you so much for joining us on this episode once again. We are talking about the impact of COVID-19 and the vaccines. Before we went on a quick break, we talked about, we took a timeline. We look at the timeline of COVID-19, how it all started and where we are today, and some of the variants, okay? And now we're going to go into some of the treatments available and some of the vaccines available and some of the, side effects and, the best way to actually help protect ourselves. So if you're just joining us, thank you. And please remember, like, share, and subscribe. If you don't have our app, go to the App Store. Depending if you're using your Android or iPhone, go to the Play Store or App Store and download it. It's called GBKM. And that way you can be able to carry us wherever you are, because the app will be able to give you past shows and current shows and live shows. Okay, guys? And if you're on our YouTube channel, like, subscribe. And if you're watching this as a recording, okay, please like, subscribe, and share. A lot of people have, given us very good feedback of how the show is very entertaining, very informative, and how it's been very, very helpful. So welcome back, guys. All right, so now what are the vaccines and treatment for COVID-19 so far? We're going to go into that. So, we're still in the early days. COVID-19 was discovered, first raised its ugly head back in December 2019, and the whole of 2020 was all about COVID-19, and now we're in 2021. A lot of countries are doing tremendous work in being able to roll out some of these vaccines. A lot of companies are doing a lot of work to be able to get, new ways of testing and new treatment as well, guys, because the world has changed, and we just have to accept it and then live with it the best possible ways we can. Okay, so now experts are emphasizing the importance of following, current public health guidelines, and strategies, physical distancing, vaccination, washing your hands, and, using masks. So, guys, some countries, that is irrelevant right now because a lot of people don't believe in it. Well, that's fine, but prevention is better than cure. I always tell people. As the number of confirmed COVID-19 cases continue to increase, researchers around the world are working tirelessly to discover new life-saving medications and innovations. The project this company are working on can be organized into 3 distinct groups. So there's a whole lot of work going on right now by companies, pharmaceuticals, universities, but you can categorize this work into 3 major groups. The first one is called Diagnostics. Okay, a lot of companies and university and government are working on diagnostics, and this is quickly and effectively detecting the disease in the first place. How quickly can we detect the disease? We're going to share some images. So before we go there, let me just explain some stuff. So the first category is diagnostics. A lot of companies, government, like I said, institutions are working on how we can get tested quicker. Because even right now, after over a year, testing takes a long time. A lot of people can be tested. I think the quickest is 24 hours, but we need to start having immediate tests because that's how we can get the real data. The second group is treatment. So now people are infected. What next? Are there treatments? Okay. So alleviating the symptoms, so people who have disease experience milder symptoms and lowering the overall mortality rate. We need to be able to reduce the amount of deaths. This COVID-19 is claiming a lot of people, and we need to be able to stop that. So there are companies who are focused on treatment. Okay. So the first one was diagnostic, which is the testing. Second one was treatment, and the third one is vaccine. A whole lot of companies are actually right now preventing transmission by making the population immune to COVID-19. Because remember, this is not the first pandemic. A few years back, we have different strains of the COVID virus. Ebola was not too far along a few years back, but now we have vaccines to prevent that. So these companies are working on that. So I'm going to share some graphics with everyone, and I want to give a very quick shout out to Artist Ventures. Is a venture capitalist firm focused on life sciences and tech. They were the one that put together these particular images. Yes, so the first one is diagnostics. As you can see, a lot of companies are working on being able to detect the virus quicker. Because when you travel, the first thing is that you want to have a negative test result, and you're coming back a negative test result. But the quicker you can try a test and get the data, the better. So that way, at least a huge percentage of the global population can actually be tested, and we can know where we stand. All right, guys, because in this age and in this day and age, knowledge is power. Because you need data to prove a matter, and the world is lacking data on COVID-19 infections. I'm telling you guys, we see a whole lot of data out there, but it's not enough. It's not enough to have a definite answer or progression or projection about this particular virus. Okay, guys, so we have this diagnostics. So these are the company. There's a whole lot more. So if you go to www.av.co/COVID, which is artist venture site on COVID, you get more data. So you see, these are the companies and developing new tests for COVID-19. The ultimate aim of companies, specifically Abbott and BioFire Defense, is to create a test that can produce accurate results in as little as a few minutes. We're not talking about hours now. Few minutes. These are what these companies are working on. So I want to say kudos to this company, trying to be innovative and help, stop the spread of this menace in the society. The next image, quickly. Yes, treatment. What are the companies involved in treatment? So there are a couple of companies. Like I said before, go to Artist Venture site, www.av.co/COVID. You get more. It's beyond these 23 companies. There's a whole lot, and they will tell you what sort of target treatment they are working and what stage in development they are doing. So, guys, this is serious. So, you don't think that these companies are just, because of lack of job or they are idle, they are making so much progress and focus on this. Trust me, all this research, all this work costs millions of dollars. So, they're not doing it for fun. COVID-19 is real, guys. Okay, guys, so some of these treatment include treating respiratory symptoms, especially the inflammation that occurs in severe cases, because a whole lot of people have respiratory issues. They can't breathe, hence why the mortality rate keeps increasing. And there's obviously antiviral growth, essentially stopping virus from multiplying inside the human body. Okay, guys, so a whole lot of people, and one thing I noticed in this report was that Fujifilm, for those that know Fujifilm used to make cameras and used to make what they call the negative for camera back in those days. I think they're into technology now. But yeah, their names on the list. The Japanese company stock shoot up recently because decades-old flu drug developed through the Fujifilm's healthcare subsidiary called Avigan, might be effective at helping coronavirus patients recover. So this is a Japanese company, and recently the government decided to stockpile the drug that can be able to treat over 2 million people. One thing about this COVID season is how countries have become very selfish. Everybody's closing their border. Everybody's taking care of themselves. Before there used to be healthcare tourism. Multi-millionaires from third world countries used to come to the West to get treated, but everybody's taking care of their own. So this is very, very important, guys. At the end of the day, everybody always know their own. So it's very important you begin to build your own, your own countries, your own communities. Start be involved, helping all these companies with funding, with research, of course, with job, etc. So go to that particular website I gave you. You get more company. And the next one, quickly, what are the companies doing vaccines? There's a whole lot more companies than this, and I'm going to show you more slides about this. But these are some of the companies doing developing vaccine. The progress is being watched, by the general public. Everybody is very, very excited. One of the most promising leads on COVID-19 vaccine is actually the mRNA 1273. The vaccine is developed by Moderna Therapeutics and is being developed with extreme urgency, skipping straight into human trials before it was even tested on animals because of the severity of the case, guys. Some of these governments are not stupid or crazy for them to skip animal trials and straight to human trials because obviously this is a pandemic and a lot of people are lost jobs. Look at the airline industry. Let's even talk about the cruise ships. These ships cost millions of dollars, and a whole lot of them are just sitting idle. If your car sat idle, you don't own it for a few months. You know what happened to that car? And that car costs you a couple of hundreds or thousands of dollars. How much more cruise ships and airline, aircraft? So, guys, it's really serious, girls. We shouldn't take it for granted. So there's been a lot of progress in the vaccine. Why? Because China was able to help with this genetic material for SARS-CoV-2. That was another virus which is of the family of the corona family of virus, and they'll be able to share that information with the world so that way they can see the genetic makeup, and a whole lot of progress is being made as well. But let's take a look at some of the major vaccines that countries are giving to their population right now. So we'll go to the next image. Yes. So this is quite interesting, COVID-19 vaccine. So some of the I'm probably sure you watched CNN or you've probably seen them on YouTube, BBC, all major news networks out there talk about some of these vaccines, and they're all over the world right now. But what are the different types of vaccine right now? So there's no magic or immediate cure. So we have Pfizer and biotech. They have their own vaccine, which is quite interesting because You know, they have is approved in Switzerland, in Netherlands, and 3 other countries. Is authorized in US and EU and Australia and 25 plus countries. They are currently using that, including Moderna, AstraZeneca, which was in conjunction with Oxford University in UK, and of course Johnson and Johnson. So, you know, these are very good because the Pfizer and the biotech vaccine is for 16 plus. So if you are 16 and above, you are able to take that vaccine. You know, and it's already started testing in the ages for 12 to 15 years old as well. So they're trying to see if you are younger than 16, in the range of 12 to 15 years old, how does it react to your body? So they're doing that right now. The Moderna vaccine is for adults only, 18 plus, okay, and they started testing on 12 to 17 years. The AstraZeneca vaccine is for adults as well, 18 plus, and we have the Johnson & Johnson, which is for 18 plus. So there's some very, very wonderful information on this vaccine and some of the ages. But let's go to the next slide and see what other information we have. Yes, this is very important. I like this particular image. So like I said, go to the website I shared before. You'll get more information on this. So Pfizer, the efficacy. So that is the efficacy, which is the strength of the vaccine. It's actually 95% for Pfizer. It's 94.5% for Moderna. It's 70% for AstraZeneca and 72% for Johnson & Johnson. And what about the dosage? Quite interesting. Notice that all the vaccines from Pfizer, Moderna, and AstraZeneca require 2 doses. It was only Johnson & Johnson that requires 1 dose, which is quite interesting. So if you look at, I had to share this slide because of the cost per dose. You know, some of these vaccines are not actually cheap. So I want to say special thanks to some of this government who is buying this and, you know, vaccinating their population for free, because some of them cost a couple of dollars, you know, and I'm sure the third world countries, this is a whole lot of money. If we're going to say people should pay for it, I don't think a lot of people can afford this, honestly speaking. So I want to say quick shout out and thanks to some of this government. And one of the things I want to share on this image is the side effect. What are the side effects of some of these vaccines? I was trying to look at it. The Pfizer and the biotech vaccine says common side effects include pain, swelling, redness at the injection site, chills, tiredness, headaches, joint ache, and you know, the side effects more common after the second dose. You know, guys, I mean, every drug has a side effect. I'm not gonna dispute that. You understand? I want to share this information because people are sharing all kinds of information out there online. Every vaccine, come on, this is not the first vaccine. We have yellow fever. We have all kinds of vaccines that we take when we try to travel back to the continent of Africa, and some of these already have effect. But because we have been used to it, it's no longer an issue. But this is new. Of course, change is constant, but people are very adverse to change. I have to share that information. What about Moderna vaccine? Some of the common side effects include fatigue, headache, muscle pain, chills, nausea and vomiting, and of course, fever. Side effects more common after second dose. Okay. And for AstraZeneca, pain, swelling, redness at the injection point, fatigue, fever, headache, nausea, joint pain, muscle ache, dizziness, you know, etc. And of course, the Johnson & Johnson side effects include pain, swelling, you know, redness at the injection site, headache, fatigue, muscle pain, etc. You know, so guys, for those of us who don't take regular medications, they're not really familiar with side effects, you know, that is very good because your health is perfect. For a whole lot of people that have been swallowing different kinds of pills, they already know the side effects of some of these. And for many of our parents and even the you know, kids as well who take vaccine on a regular basis to get immune against some of these crazy illnesses that we adults and our body have become immune to, there are also side effects as well. You know, I know that because I've experienced that as well. So I don't know. I hope this information will be very, very beneficial to everyone. I had to actually share, you know how the COVID started, because a lot of people have forgotten. People are partying right now. People are socializing. No social distancing. You know, people are coughing on people. Guys, it's very important. Protect yourself. You know, especially, I mean, for my brother and sister back in the continent, we know right now a whole lot of the countries in Africa, we're about 54 countries, even more than that, because there are some other territories that are not considered countries, and there are also disputed regions. And we know that, you know, in all the countries that's been looking for cure for vaccines, looking for cure for the COVID-19, looking for vaccines as well, there's no African country there right now, okay? So I know Mauritius had some very wonderful discoveries on some of the herbs that help cure this, but I know with time, guys, I know with time, you know, because some of these companies that is doing this amazing work, a whole lot of Africans are actually there who are chemists, who are virologists, you know, who are doing different tasks to make this happen. So guys, as the world begin to get more data, and finally we're able to get a cure, and the vaccines are beginning to work 100%, then obviously we can be rest assured that this phase of our life is over, and we can move into being able to socialize once again, go to the stadium. I mean, America, people are already going to the stadium because America is doing an awesome job of actually vaccinating majority of the population. UK is doing that as well, and we hope our country, Canada, is trying their best as well. And of course, if you're in the Caribbean, if you're in Asia, Middle East, and Europe, and of course Africa, why not? You understand? I always tell people prevention is better than cure, guys. So take care of yourself. If you're not able to get access to the vaccine, be very, very cautious, and be patient as well, and we'll see what the world is able to do in being able to supply some of the undeveloped or developing countries with some of these vaccines, guys. But that's why we are here, guys. We go out there and get this information for you, and I hope this information has been beneficial, because when I read the report, I was quite impressed, honestly speaking, to see some of this effort and how many companies are actually spending time and resources, to actually get this menace out of the society called COVID-19 and all the numerous variants that's been coming up. So guys, thank you so much once again. And me, every week I can't leave you without telling you, multiple streams of income is always the way to go. Generational wealth is very important. You don't want the next generation to start from scratch, give them an advantage, because the world is a competing world right now, okay? Look at COVID-19. A lot of countries shut their borders. Okay, guys? So imagine a lot of countries are dependent on importation. Of course, goods still flew. But imagine if, as countries close their border, they also close their border to goods. No export of goods. They want to keep everything within so that they can be self-sustaining. A whole lot of countries will perish. So guys, remember that and begin to take extra steps, to see how you can start being dependent as an individual, as a community, and of course as a nation. And of course, be a role model. Multiple streams of income is the way to go. Never depend on one income, because the world is changing. Who knows? Very soon we might go back to socialism, whereby everybody is depending on the government. But I don't think that will happen, because I know America will fight for capitalism. Okay, we want to be able to play our own part. So remember, we're on social media. Send us an email, spotlight@gbkm.fm. Go to our website, www.gbkm.fm, and of course, download our app, GBKM, on Play Store and App Store. And of course, be a role model wherever you are, in your home, your community. Wherever you find peace, I always tell people, is your home. If your peace is in Africa, that's your home. If it's in Europe, if it's in Asia, not America, why? But be a part of developing that community as well. Volunteer, support in any way, shape, or form. And of course, I will leave you with this. You are always in the spotlight. The change you seek begins with you. Good night, guys.
Yeah, this is Dr. Rod, the boss of all bosses, and if you don't know, then it's your losses. You're watching gbkm.tv. Yeah, this is Dr. Rod, the boss of all bosses, and if you don't know, then it's your losses. You're watching gbkm.tv.
My name is Carol, and I'm currently a project coordinator. I took the project management course. I learned a number of things, one of which was interview skills. I learned about the agile framework and how that's very different from the waterfall model of project management.
At Top Run Consulting, the key unique area that we try to focus on is not to just impart certification knowledge, but the application of real-world tools.
Back in June 2017, I did the business analysis course at Top Run. I learned the basic and advanced skills and tools to be successful in business analysis field.